I rise today, as my colleague from North Dakota has just done, to speak in support of Senate Bill 2155, the Economic Growth, Regulatory Relief, and Consumer Protection Act. In response, Mr. President, to the 2008 financial crisis, many individuals overreacted to the role that smaller institutions played. In the rush to react, these institutions became overregulated. But since the drafting and enactment of Dodd-Frank nearly 10 years ago, Congress has looked for ways to lessen the damage effects it has had on our financial system in America. As a result of the Dodd-Frank Act, thousands of pages of federal mandates were imposed upon even the smallest of financial institutions. Community banks all across the country are the key source of lending and other financial services on Main Street throughout this nation. I believe we should not and must not continue to require them to comply with the same regulations as our largest financial institutions that are perhaps subject to systemic risk. This bill before us today fixes that by offering a common sense approach, Mr. President, to ensure that our small and medium-sized financial institutions are no longer subject to excessive regulation that has choked the life from them in the country. Senate Bill 2155 is a result of almost 10 years of negotiations between members of both parties. This legislation was negotiated in good faith between Republicans and Democrats to find common ground. In a time, Mr. President, when partisan politics have derailed many efforts, the bill before us moved through regular order out of the Banking Committee, where a lengthy and robust amendment debate occurred. Many of us in this body have spent hours, including the presiding officer, negotiating since the enactment of Dodd-Frank to get to this point today. This is a bipartisan bill. This is a good product. Time and again, I've advocated for conducting thorough cost-benefit analysis on financial regulations. I believe it's Congress's role, when tasked with oversight authority, to ensure that the cost of rules from Washington do not outweigh the benefits for consumers. However, even a simple examination of small and medium-sized banks' activities show that their practices provide no systemic risk to our financial system. Many Dodd-Frank regulations are inappropriate for these institutions in the country. This has become abundantly clear to most of us. As regulatory overreach progressed, community banks and in turn local economies began to fall on hard times. In the 115th Congress, I believe the dynamics have shifted. Beginning with our work to reform our nation's tax system, the economy has been performing well. Unemployment has dropped. The total number of individuals returning to the workforce has increased. And in the Senate, we have now a unique opportunity to unlock the chains of stagnation that have halted the growth of a lot of our small businesses. Community financial institutions provide, Mr. President, more than 60% of small business loans in this country. Too often, it is easy to forget that the personalized touch of community banks has been what started the process for success of some of the most accomplished businesses in the United States of America. I believe, Mr. President, we must pass this bill if we want that to continue, if we want to keep creating jobs in this country and opportunities for our people. In response to my friends from the other side of the aisle who oppose our efforts here, I have one simple message. The Economic Growth, Regulatory Relief, and Consumer Protection Act, the bill we have before the Senate now, is a thoughtful, bipartisan effort to correct and right-size regulations that were hastily prepared. This product is designed to help, Mr. President, Main Street, not Wall Street. This is a good bill. I hope that my colleagues will join me and others in support of it.